So you guys have come to know me as the Subaru guy, right? We have an 07 STI, 06 XX. I've owned multiple Subarus in the past. But recently I picked up a Miata just because I wanted to try things out. But it's come to my attention that a lot of Subaru people just don't like Miatas. And I'm trying to figure out why. Now, okay, I get it. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I was one of those people. I love Subarus. I only love Subarus. I don't want to hear anything else about it. I get it. And, you know, some of those things are true. This thing is crazy, crazy slow. It doesn't come with the turbo. It doesn't come all-wheel drive. But I feel like we were all missing the point. Miatas are fun. So in today's video, I figure since we have the Miata and the STI still, I kind of want to do a comparison back and forth. Obviously, the cars are not in the same league at all, but I kind of just want to open your guys' eyes as far as if you feel like you're fully locked into Subarus. I get it, they're freaking amazing, but I feel like you guys need to understand the Miata has its place for a reason. It's the #1 sports car for a reason, and hopefully I can open your eyes just a little bit to having some fun. Now, if you're looking to pick up an STI, something similar to this, an 07 STI, it's probably going to cost you around $20,000. The Miata, on the other hand, this one cost me about $7,000, but you could probably easily buy one for about $5,000, which is a quarter of the price. And my whole point to today's video is for a quarter of the price, you can have just as much fun. Because in my opinion, I feel like a big part of being a car person is just to do it for fun. Now, obviously, as you guys know, I have been in the Subaru scene for a while. I am extremely familiar with this platform, and I'm relatively new to the Miata scene, maybe, I don't know, 3-4 months or so. And here's a couple things I've noticed going back and forth, working on them as a project car. Some pretty obvious things. The car is bigger, the car is heavier, the car has a turbo, the car is all-wheel drive. There's just more things to go wrong and makes things a bit more difficult to work on. And of course, the engine's sideways. Miata, on the other hand, it is a complete different story. Changing out my spark plugs literally took me 20 minutes. Everything is in line, right up top, super easy to access. Changed my valve cover gasket, which is not even a question on the Subaru. Crazy hard to get to, crazy hard to work on. This, not even a story. The only thing that the Subaru does have over this Miata, it's kind of hard to change the oil on this thing. The oil filter placement compared to a Subaru is actually awful. Now, one thing, of course, the STI has over the Miata is the fact that it comes with Brembos from the factory. Now, what the Miata is all about is relatively cheap modifications to make a big difference, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. I actually picked up some steel braided brake lines front and rear for the Miata, and I actually got these same day delivered from Advanced Auto. I didn't even know they carried these things, and I also didn't know it showed up the same day, if not the next day, which is pretty freaking sweet. We're gonna go ahead, get these things installed. Should be pretty easy. All right, so I already got one line in here. The install wasn't too bad. This thing's pretty dang easy to work on. Here's the old rubber line right here. I think these steel braided lines are gonna make a pretty good difference on brake feel and everything. I'm gonna continue on, do those last 3. Also making sure I'm topping off that fluid reservoir up top. Do not want to introduce a lot of air into the system, and then I'll get a friend here, bleed the system, and we will be good to go. Well, I haven't driven the STI in a while, and since this video is kind of like a comparison between the Miata and the STI, we, got to do a little drive on both. Oh my God, it's freaking gorgeous outside. This is actually pretty freaking wild. So, obviously the point of this video is I'm genuinely curious on why there seems to be this stigma. I feel like it's mainly Subaru people that just have this really strong dislike with Miatas. Have you driven one? Do you not fit in one? Okay, obviously there's reasons, right? It's pretty small, whatever. But I really want you guys to comment down below reasons why you just genuinely don't like it. Because my argument is the fact that the Miata is fun to drive. It's fun to modify. It's cheap to modify. There's just so many benefits that I feel like everyone's argument is just because their friend says Miatas are bad, so now everyone just thinks Miatas are bad. It's just weird. Now, what I feel is special about cars is the fact that you can drive so many different cars and they give you so many different kinds of experiences, right? So it's pretty clear that the driving experience of a Subaru or an STI versus a Miata is drastically different, and that's good. It gives you some variety. You want things to be different. So obviously, kind of depending on how you're looking at the two, if you just compare flat out what's better, an STI or a Miata, it's pretty clear the STI is, I guess, objectively better. It's faster, it's whatever, right? But my main argument is the Miata is just so fun on a way cheaper budget, and that's why I feel it obviously serves a better purpose as far as learning how to work on the car. It's cheaper, it's easier, it's more budget friendly. There's just so many benefits to it. Okay, obviously one thing Subarus have over Miatas is the sound of it. Especially with the friggin' external wastegate. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm talking about. There's just different experiences, even different from driving like my X to the Miata, right? It's just all about different experiences, and that's what's great about cars. We need to freaking get rid of all this car's bad, this car's bad. But I'll even admit, there's some cars where I just don't understand it, but I guess you don't necessarily have to understand why everyone likes the car. But I'm telling you, go freaking out, test out some different cars. I'm telling you, that's what's freaking amazing about being a car person. Test out all those different experiences. It's seriously worth it. Okay, so we're back from a quick drive in the STI. And well, you know, the sounds it makes, everything about the driving experience is just way different than the Miata. Of course, they're supposed to be different. As far as physically working on the cars, I don't have crazy experience with the Miata, of course, but I do with the Subaru. I know all the ins about Subarus, and working on them, it is way harder than the Miata. The Miata is smaller, the Miata is easier to lift up, the Miata is easier to work on the engine, suspension stuff. There's just less stuff to go wrong in the Miata, and way cheaper. And like I said, you can have just as much fun. So I encourage you guys, if the Miata is more in your budget, at least find someone that has a Miata to at least test drive it. You don't need to go out and buy one. You don't need to believe everything I'm saying, but I'm telling you, once I drove a friend's Miata, I was sold. And especially now after owning one, honestly, what everyone says, real owners of Miatas say that they're just freaking amazing. They really are. So that's it. That is my explanation and kind of my experience owning both the Miata and the STI, and why I think the Miata does certainly have a place in pretty much every car person's heart, unless you can't physically fit in it. You know, I guess that is a point. But I do have a friend that's like 6'4", and he fits all the way back. I don't think the top can be down, but that's besides the point. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace out.